Greetings, YouTube followers of this old sword. I'm back with you again for a quick follow-up to a video I've already done on this Columbia River knife and tool. I have to be careful I don't say cricket. A lot of you didn't like that, but the Columbia River Knife and Tool Company came about in 1994. And I was buying those knives when they first came out, and me and my fellow knife collectors quickly referred to CRKT as cricket. Simple as that. It's a slang. Don't get offended if you own knives and you want me to call them Columbia River Knife and Tool, or you want me to call them CRKT. I've been calling them cricket for maybe longer than a lot of you have been around. Who knows? But don't mean to disparage anybody or poke fun at anybody, and I certainly don't mind being poked fun of once in a while either. But for sake of clarity and officiality, this is the Columbia River Knife and Tool, also known as CRKT. This is the BT Fighter. Now, as I said, I reviewed this already. It's a Brian Tighe design, and if you wanted you wanted a custom real Brian Tighe knife, you'd be paying in the upper hundreds, 1,000 or over, for one of his fine works. But being as how this was a button lock, I picked one up some months back from Knife Center. They got it to me fairly quick. And I did the review on it. Shortly after that, I started noticing lock rock in the blade. And no matter what I did, played with the pivot, so on and so forth, couldn't get that to stop. So ultimately, that knife went back to the Knife Center. I saw from one of my subscribers that these were available for like $40 on Amazon. So I said, I really did like the size and the feel and the look of the knife. Let me try again. So for $40, I picked one up on Amazon, and lo and behold, I've been playing with this now for about 4 or 5 days, and it is nice and tight. So I must have gotten a bad copy. But leads me to have some other thoughts as well. There was recently the release from White Mountain Knives as an exclusive, the Kaiser Begleiter XL, and some people were having problems with that button lock. That it worked great at first, and then all of a sudden the blade would start getting some lock rock and wouldn't lock open all the way, or they had a crunch like heck on the button in order to close it, or they couldn't open it. It was just all bound up. So I have not touched or adjusted this yet, but here's a thought for you which may apply or may not apply to this particular knife. Here's 3 screws, right? And 2 of those screws hold the clip, which looks like it is not reversible because you can't really flop that over to the other side as near as I can tell. But what Jared Neves suggested, in compliments to Jared on his discovery, as far as the Begleiter went, was that by balancing the tension on the screws on that one with the pivot and lying this handle slab flat, it prevented the button from binding. And that's what was happening on that particular knife, is the button where it goes through the handle. If this handle is skewed, if it's tilted, so using my hand as a reference, if it's this way or this way or this way or this way, then it's going to bind, and you can't really see it, but it's going to bind on that button. So that's a thought for anybody who is having trouble with button locks. May not be the same problem for all button locks, but was the problem for the Begleiter. Whether or not it was a problem for this copy that I had that went back to Knife Center, I don't know, because it went back, and that information came to me long after that other knife went back. Okay, so that is the deal. I like this knife. It's a GRN handle. It's an AUS 8 blade. Nothing really super wonderful, super steel. But feels great in the hand. Ergos are nice, and it's a cool looking knife. You can get it in a drop point, or you can get it in this Tonto version. I happen to like the Tonto version. So that's my quick follow-up on the Columbia River Knife and Tool BT Fighter. And this is a nice large blade, unlike some of the other knives that came out previous to this. There was the Brian Tighe Fighter. I'm not sure if it was called the BT Fighter or not, but there was a similar version. You may know what it was. And it was smaller. Didn't pick one up because I didn't like the size. And I tend to like knives that are at least 3.5 inches in blade length, and at the very least 8 inches overall. I've made some exceptions, but this one's cool. It's nice. Got an interesting clip that does seem to work actually quite well with the, I don't know if it's a ceramic ball or not, but I got a ball there at the end of the clip, which was really the invention of, I think, a custom knife maker whose name does not come to mind immediately. And you got these standoffs. So you got a lot of space under that clip for thick fabric. And it does seem to work quite well. And lots of ways to open this knife. Very similar to the bag lighter in that you have a flipper tab, and you have thumb studs, and you have simply gravity opening. So not sure this guy is going to qualify as a gravity knife as well, but something to think about before you pick one up for yourself. But 40 bucks, nice, good EDC beater knife. And hopefully if you do get one, it holds up well for you. That's all I got to say today on this topic, and we've got some new knives coming in very soon, tomorrow, the next day, so hopefully we'll have some brand new stuff for you to take a look at. This Old Sword signing out. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe.